I don't know. I just did a flex. Oh,
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you dead set legends. Welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 arm wrestling live stream in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and before I get into not only my guest, but a good friend of mine, I've just got a few people to thank out, including my guests on the show. And I just have a look here, my Patreon and YouTube bangers. For just as little as 50 cents a week, you can help out the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and all money goes back into this channel, so you do not have to worry at all. There's no wild spending on coke and hookers. It's just going straight to the channel, which I really, really appreciate. Then if you head over to filthypowerindustries.com, just chuck in Ready Bang 15, help Brandon out, 15% off anything if you chuck in that code word. And then, of course, if you head over to Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling and chuck in Ready Bang 15, you'll get a 0% discount, but that is okay.
We can change that though, Jay. I think it's about time we change that. Gee whiz.
It is all happening. But, of course, my man here, the shackles have been off. This man is able to go to Turkey in 5 weeks. He has been a confirmed ArmWars competitor. And we're going to get deep into that. But today is just all about fun because Ryan and I are usually a pretty good commentary team, but we're just doing our separate things because you are crushing it over there. And I'm just trying to build my channel. So I always like to get my guest on and talk about the big events before they happen. Ryan Blue Bowen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I had a really interesting morning this morning. You mentioned East versus West. It's true. I got to be 90 kilos for it, right? I'm not 90 kilos currently. I currently am somewhere north of that. And I went for a run this morning for the first time in I don't even know how long. I don't even know how long. Years. A lot of years. I went for a run. I live on a block where it's quite hilly. The suburb's called Spring Mountain. And I did a few laps around the block and oh my goodness. Okay, my lungs are not what they used to be, but anything to beat Coach Ray. Anything to beat Coach Ray.
Ironically, because you talk quite a lot, and yet when it comes to running, no, it's not happening. Come on now.
Like I was once when I was a tennis player. Running was I was much better runner than I was a strength athlete back then. So it's somewhere inside me. I don't know if my knees and back they will hold up. That's the quid. After running today, I'm just like, oh man, the compression of the spine. I don't remember that being so savage.
So if you see Ryan huffing and puffing on the show, it's not because the Aussie arm wrestlers pissed him off. It's because he's still trying to catch his breath. How many kgs you got to drop for the Ray match?
This morning I was 93.7, so I got 3.7 kilos to drop in 6 weeks.
And how far was the run?
I'm okay. How far is what?
How far was the run?
Oh, mate, the run was maybe 15 minutes of just like plodding, but up and down hills. So tomorrow I'll try to do the same distance in 14 minutes, and we'll just keep on going.
I think for some good content, you and I should go for a run, and then we'll get David Attenborough just narrating what we're doing, and he's like, the two penguins are not on the ice; they're on the Spring Mountain. Look at the struggle with the penguins here. Because
I felt the eyes of the construction workers and everyone looking at me like, have a look at this bludger. Like, look at it. I was in struggle town. But anyway, like I said, it actually felt good. It actually felt good, like, I don't know, like mentally to get out there and go, I'm going to run. It's been a long time since I've been able to see a six-pack. So I don't know. Ray said to me, oh, yeah, we might even go shirtless. I don't know if I'll go that far, but you never know.
Mate, with your complexion, you'll get burned with the lights. Keep your shirt on. You're my mate. Let's say hi to my unfuckables in the chat. I accidentally deemed them. All these people in the chat. Devon's pink phone has just come in with a ready bang. Some really cool people in the chat. If you've come here to be a dick, probably not the show for you. Just come and enjoy. We're going to talk about King of the Table, upcoming matches, about the shirtless Ryan Bowen taking on the shirtless Coach Ray. Cosmic Code's in there. White Wolf with a ready fang. Did you see Derek Smith's poor attempt at banter?
I didn't see it, no. What did
No,
he do?
he did a live. Last week I jumped on, I did a live, and I forgot that Derek does his live on a Thursday our time at the same time. Anyway, after my live, I jumped over and was having a chat. He's like, damn you, Aussie. I love you, but you went on the same time as me. Yeah? Well, I'm going to start using, instead of ready bang, I'm going to say ready fang. And then we all just had a laugh.
Okay.
And if anyone knows what the internet's like,
the White Wolf all over it. That suits him nicely.
The Drew's here, so we're allowed to start. So thank you very much. Proud son comes in ready bang. Dan John is coming ready bang. Dominic Lorenz.
How you feeling about this weekend, man? It's such a monumental weekend, isn't it?
Mate, I'll tell you. And that's why I wanted to get you on, because you and I saw gold and we went, let's do it. Yeah. It is a perfect time for content creators. Your channel's grown exponentially. You're at 70,500 subscribers, which is unbelievable. I'm almost there.
You will be, man. Like, that's the thing, that the tide is rising so significantly right now across the sport, and it's so cool to see it. I freaking love seeing the standard of production, the standard of content going up across all the channels, because that's what's needed. I mean, that collectively lifts everything. I mean, it's awesome. There's so much room in the sport for good content creators. We're not contrary to a lot of popular belief, we're not in competition with each other. We are lifting each other.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for those that don't know, what usually happens, especially with Ryan and I, yes, we do the commentary gig. If we're not together in the same room, we do the commentary gig at the same time. The first thing that happens when the stream finishes, we share numbers. We're like, what worked for you, man? What worked for me? And we're congratulating each other on success.
Yeah, and honestly, we're behind the scenes. We're saying, what do you feel you did better than this one, and what do you feel you did worse? And I might say, I think I stuffed my thumbnail up. I think I stuffed my title up. I think I stuffed the time I opened up. I think I stuffed whatever. We share all that stuff because,
for those that don't know, Ryan actually started a group. He didn't have to. He's 50,000 subscribers ahead of the rest of us. But you started a group and went, hey, guys, let's all work together. There's a big group of us in there. This is what's working for me. If you guys want to try it, try this system. You had that awesome conversation with a guy with billions of subscribers, which is catapulted. But you didn't hold that to yourself. You went, hey, guys, as soon as that phone call happened or your meeting, you jumped in our chat and we're just like, hey, man, this is what he said. Try this moving forward.
Yeah. Good fun. But this weekend, man, it's great. This, as you said, we saw gold. And I think it's I wanted to share one thing with you. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. It's going to come out sometime in the next 4 days. But a journalist from the UK contacted me, and I know she had contacted Devon and I believe Michael Todd as well. And she was a journalist in the written word sense. So I'm not sure if it's going to be blogs or newspapers or magazines or what. But I've never been interviewed by a journalist that was as professional as this woman. It was very clearly next level. And I've been interviewed by Australian journalists. I've been interviewed by Australian newspapers, Australian
journalists are shit.
I know, Australian morning breakfast shows and stuff like that.
I remember that.
And to be honest, every single time I've ever been interviewed by an Australian journalist, it's been cheesy. The angle they've taken is, do you arm wrestle for who has to take the rubbish out and stuff like that? And it's like, that's as much as they see it. Well, this woman that interviewed me the other day, and like I said, she shared with me that she'd interviewed Devon and Michael as well. She was amazing. The questions she asked, the depth that she went in, and she clearly understood high-level sport. And she was super fascinated by where arm wrestling sits in the grand scheme. She was fascinated that it's not yet fully established. There's no organization like the UFC that just has it under control and is just pumping it. It's this individual responsibility for athletes at the moment to somewhat lift the sport. Although we've got Core Sports and King of the Table through Larry, it's still very new and it's still very up to the individuals. And she observed that and she was like, wow, this is really fascinating. And we drew parallels about how that leads to conflict and how it leads to like cultural offenses being taken and things like that. Things like that wouldn't necessarily happen if it was tightly controlled ship like underneath the UFC. And same thing if you look at where the sport's at for the top guys, they're so accessible to the fans of the world. They're so accessible to everyone. Whether you love or hate an athlete or a commentator for that matter, you can directly communicate with them very easily. Try to do that with Roger Federer. Try to directly communicate
LeBron
with
James. It's not happening. Right. But you message Devin and he'll either acknowledge your message or message you back or share your content or something like that. I think because that is slowly becoming like a melted bit of cheese hanging on. Early days, even 2 years ago, when I first was like launching the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and they were quick responses. Now, because everyone's so busy and everyone's got their image and their brand, it's becoming harder and harder. And I feel in some aspects, a lot of people are getting very aggressive and they kind of subconsciously don't want the sport to grow so much because it's like, oh, yeah, I'm besties with Devin. I can get Devin on the phone. Now he hasn't got time to pick it up because he's doing this interview and this interview and that. So, I feel like
I think it will transition. I agree. I think the next year to 2 years, we're going to see. You described it as a bit of cheese. Yeah, I think that cheese will snap. And it will be like all the other big sports out there. And as you said, it's just simply a time and availability thing. Devin, I can only imagine how many notifications Devin gets currently and how many messages are sent to him, and he just would be like, it's just too hard.
My notifications, and if I'm getting this many, I can't. It just blows my mind. Let's have a chat, guys. 134 people in the chat. If we can smash that like button, let's get it. Let's crack it to 100 real quick. Let's have a quick chat to some people. Nathan Mullen has jumped in. Says, "What's your thoughts on the streaming? If it's glitchy, I'll be pissed. I'm very confident they'll get it right."
Yeah, they surely know how big this moment is. They'll probably pour more resources in than they've ever done before. They're going to be generating more revenue than they've ever done before. So it only makes sense that they'll put even more into the production. So hopefully all good.
Yeah. And that leads into this question from Gene Madsen. Says, "Ready bang. What do you guys think about King of the Table? What surprises awaits us?" I'll tell you what will surprise us. The stream will be like velvet. We'll just be sitting there watching the stream and we will be up and about. Do you think there's any big surprises, big swerves that are going to happen?
Well, it's fascinating. Okay. Before we get to the main event, I noticed on the fix the other day that Uncle John put a great compilation together of everyone's predictions. And the one that surprised me most was everyone saying 6-0 Corey West over Kadecha. That one caught me off guard. So I was, I genuinely was like, wow, everyone. There was Cobra, there was Paul Lynn, there was John Brzenk. They're all pumping out 6-0s. I'm like, whoa, okay. Like I don't know. I rate Corey very highly, but I don't rate him 6-0 over Kadecha highly with certainty. Not like I guess it's possible, but my gut feel is that one's a knife edge, and my gut feel, if I had to pick a winner, if I was on the fix that day, I would have said Kadecha 4-2. Is my gut feel.
It's funny how it all comes in. I feel Alex will win that one as well. And speaking of like 6-0s and everything, I've got a poll in at the moment. It says, how many 6-0s will there be at King of the Table? 0, they're all bangers. 1, because there's usually 1. 2, the potential is there. Or 3, not the best booking of matches. And everyone thinks there's going to be at least 1. At least 1. So
I think if there's going to be 1, it's going to be with Marcio for me. I think Marcio against Irakli for me is the I think Marcio is too experienced, too well-rounded, too conditioned, too battle-hardened, too everything. He's genuine legend, and Irakli is new to that weight category at the top level. He's been there, done that at the lighter weights, but when you stretch yourself up into the heavier weight categories, I feel like it takes some time to settle into that. And I think that Marcio is so very settled. Irakli is not yet. I think it'll be. I think if anything's going to be 6-0, that's the match that I think will happen in for me.
Yeah, I just did my official prediction. You can go back and watch the little video, but I've got my official prediction on that one, and I'll do my other 2 videos because I haven't released them yet. But boy, oh boy, is the comments section not here, not in my live streams. Everyone's awesome in my live streams, but in my videos, man. Did you know that I'm such a Devon fan? And it's so clear that I want Levin to win. I just have a look at that's what I love about sport, because everyone has their binoculars on differently. So it's like, oh man, you were just Devin. Oh man, you were just favoring Levin.
Man, I'm the same. I put out a video. I put my official prediction out. So that if anyone wants to know what my actual prediction is, go and check that. A lot of people watching the videos struggle to differentiate between a prediction and storytelling. I will happily and repeatedly tell the story of how glorious it would be if Devon wins. That is not my prediction. However, if I'm making a prediction, and as I said in my prediction show, there's a very big difference. This one, I'm just using purely my head. This is what I think the most likely outcome is. I don't want that to be the case. I'm on Team Devon for the sake of the sport. I'm on Team Devon. I want to see that. I put a video out last night. I realized how many parallels there are between this match, Devon's story against Levan, with Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman. To me, there's heaps of parallels. People struggle to differentiate between promotion and prediction.
I'm glad you've brought up promotion, because I want to get your take on something in a moment. But don't say that Devon winning's good for the sport, Ryan. Once again, I did that exact video and copped the flogging, but absolutely loved it. A good friend of ours, Mickey Lomkerovich, just jumped in. He says, "Hey, gentlemen, I'm not up to date with all the news, but doesn't Levin have a contract with Mazarenko? How is this not under his banner?" Well, I think, Mickey, from my understanding, like, PAL hasn't been able to run for ages. As soon as top 8 comes back, Levin will go pull there. So they've just relaxed all contracts. WAL, PAL.
Mickey, I spoke to Anna Mazarenko about 3 months ago. And she said to me that, it had become impossible. They'd made multiple attempts to set the top 8. They'd got a few matches away, but they kept on running into the hurdles with the travel restrictions regarding to COVID. And it just kept on making it impossible for them. Having realized that, they said, look, well, we've got all these athletes here. We're currently restricting them from being able to go and make a living doing what they do. So we're going to release them from those contracts. Anna did say to me, however, we have absolutely every intent of being back. And so they're just waiting for that. That's I expect it, yeah.
On the line. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Says I can only hear Ryan when his sign is on.
Hang on. I can turn it on, but it pissed me off, this sign. It pisses me off. Why does it piss me off? See those banding lines, those little you just see that bloody fluorescent line. It just pisses me off. But there we go, the sign's on, if that helps.
Can you hear him now?
Watch how bad I can make it look. Ready? Like if it gets real bright, no, the lines get even worse. Then you can't see me. I go all hazy.
You bet they can hear you. So has Levan arrived at Dubai?
It's a good question. I don't know. And, I haven't heard word of it yet.
Lotto reckons yes.
I haven't heard word of it yet, so I would guess he's maybe coming in very soon. Obviously, that post that he put out with the "I am your king, cry baby."
That
came out from I think Sibili or whatever, however I pronounce that. I think that was a park in Sibili. I saw comments from. So I think he may have been just on the verge of leaving. He might be in the air right now. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I'll do
Max
that one.
Thompson in the chat, one of my YouTube bangers, and everyone's just talking to each other at the moment. Ryan, that video, that Crybaby King video, whatever that rubbish was, two things. One, is it too little, too late? Hold your answer. Hold the phone. Hold it there. Whoa, cowboy. Think about that one. Is it too little, too late with the banter? And two, what on earth was that stroller doing in the background? And then the lady just comes and grabs an empty one and doesn't even know where to go. You've got one of the most intimidating looking people on the planet staring and walking towards the camera about how he's about to rip the arms off an arm wrestler in the biggest match of the, and then in the background, you can't say pram. I confused everyone yesterday by saying pram, so we got to say stroller.
What do they say? Stroller? Okay.
Yeah,
stroller.
and they just...
Yeah, it was funny, wasn't it? The Devon fan, I mean, I put out a short on YouTube and that yesterday about it, and watching some of the comments, there's obviously the pro Devon crowd are very... They're attaching onto that one quite well, having a bit of fun with the words that came out of his mouth as well. I am your king crybaby. They take away the comma and they just say, I am your king crybaby, is the way that they're interpreting it. And the stroller in the background with it doesn't help. But is it too little too late? Look, it was good to see. I get everything. Like, Levan, to me, I get the sense that he's taking this match seriously. And when people say, is Devon nervous? Is Levan nervous? I think Levan's silence is a reflection that he is somewhat taking this match very seriously. And there is an element of nerve. I think that if Levan had have engaged more, he would have risked letting Devon win that battle. And that was probably why he decided, no, look, I'm going to withdraw. I know if I withdraw, I can be the freight train that I am mentally, physically. I can do my thing, and I'm not going to let any of that get in. So, as a fan, would I have liked to have seen more? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But I still think where it's at, it's been a monumental build up, nonetheless. The what Devon's been doing as the antagonist, I guess, and what the content creators of the sport have been doing has definitely whipped up the frenzy. The fans have not let us down. The fans have put thousands and thousands and thousands of comments on videos and polls and everything. I'm sure you've had the same, but it's been phenomenal. I haven't tallied up my views on this subject, but it's been about 10 days now of continuous subject matter along the build up of this. And I think if I looked at if I went from my YouTube stats, my Facebook stats, Instagram, TikTok, like it's probably 10, 15 million views in 10 days just on this Devon Light subject matter. So the engagement, the comments under those, they're like, for every million views, there's 1,000 comments at least, is what I've been seeing. So it's the fans have done a good job of making this a special moment for the sport.
Absolutely. I mean, I look on my ones on the comments and they're dropping C-bombs at each other and things like that. I'm all for supporting your guy in this one, and I'm all for flying your flag. But let's just keep it civil. That's why I like the live streams, because everyone keeps it civil in the live streams here. But I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I saw this as once in a generation matchup, and hopefully we get a rematch so we can make even more content. But I thought it was just something unbelievable and something amazing. And a part of me, I wished that I believe, and I could be wrong, I've been wrong a couple of times, that if Levin had fought back in the YouTube wars or something like that, he didn't have to get personal, but something like that. Hey, I'm your king, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I genuinely believe ESPN would have just, what's this over here?
Yeah.
And we could have just had a little thing on SportsCenter for like 10 seconds.
I do agree that it's real close. It's real close. Like I said, the journalist that reached out to me from the UK, she gave me the vibe that she was way more mainstream than any media outlet that I've seen reach out to arm wrestling before. And she noticed the sport was different now. She thought, hang on a second, what's going on here? And she was very interested in comparing it to sports like UFC and comparing it to mainstream coverage. So she was really, really interesting. And I agree with you that those, the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, whatever, they must be. There's got to be someone working in those industries that is the scout for material, and I'd be surprised if they must be considering it. They must be thinking, shit, should we be the first major network to cover this? Should we pull the damn trigger, ESPN, if you're watching?
Hurry up! I know ESPN watch this show because all the time I'm like, da-na-na. They know. I know Sports Center are keeping an eye on me. So a quick question from Devon's pick phone. Will Levin be at the press conference? This is, I tell you, I don't know what's happened in your DMs, Ryan, but I've had a lot of people slide in mine and tell me Levin's going to pull out last minute.
Look, if he I
don't think it'll happen, but I do love a conspiracy.
There's no way. There is no way he pulls out last minute. That would be, I think that would be the most outrageously absurd thing possible. The only reason anyone pulls out is if it's impossible for them to get to the table for reasons beyond their control. That's the only reason. Now these guys are committed. There's no way.
We're on.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Levin will be at the press conference.
Thanks, Darren. Ready bang to you, Duck Hunter. Ryan and I will be very sad as well if it's set in stone. So when we say, because if something happens and then there's a rematch, you better bloody believe it. Ryan and I will be firing on all cylinders if there's a glimpse of us to make something.
The sport. This is a high point for the sport. This is a moment of excitement for the sport. But this is early days. Look, 12 months from now, there will be stuff that is bigger, better presented, just as much. Like there's so much to come. You think about it. In the immediate sense, in a couple of weeks' time, we got Brzenk against Corey West,
Todd
and Hutchins versus Michael Todd. As if we're not going to get excited about that. Trust me. You watch the switch turn to that. Then we've got East versus West, which just has a plethora of freaking amazing talking points. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. It's not stopping.
It's funny because the way that it goes, we'll answer your question in a minute, Finsk. Like you said, July, Monster Michael Todd pay-per-view factory. And there's little pop-up matches like Chan Shaw's pulling Ron Barth in between. Then there's, like you said, East versus West. Then ArmWars in September, talking points. Then we got King of the Table 5, and we're just right round back at it. So that's why it's big if we support all of these massive programs, because we've got 4 massive programs, and if they all work together, we can almost have one a month. 3 King of the Tables a year, 3 East versus West a year. You get 2 Monster Michael Todd pay-per-view factories and 2 ArmWars a year. That's 10 out of 12 months. Which is awesome.
Throwing an annual over the top.
Oh, shut up. How good was that?
That's going to be big next year too.
We're firing. Finsk, I believe it's 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It starts. 5 a.m. Justin King has jumped in. Says, you are both dead set legends. Ryan, keep doing your thing. No one succeeds without accumulating some haters. It all happens. I was reading some hateful comments about myself today. It was awesome. It was funny. I think the comment was, if I wasn't going out of my way to be so annoying, my channel would grow more. Ryan knows me. I'm just annoying in general, but thank you, Justin King. Spencer Doucette, one of my bangers, he says, pulling an Aussie right now, hiding in the bathroom at work so I can get 30 seconds to listen. Yep. When I had a job, I used to do that. I used to go take fake poos and listen for a few minutes. AGM saying the payday is too big. Gorilla Arms, what did you think of Larry's interview with Devon? We're going to talk about that in a moment. I just want to make sure we've got some questions before we roll on. Everyone's being awesome. The comment section is flying. 233 people in the chat, guys. And we haven't even hit 100 likes. Help me out. Help me out. I am hanging. And so, did you watch this interview, Ryan?
I haven't actually watched the Larry one. I watched the one with Devon and with Jody and the strength. What is the channel called? Strength something? Let me look it up.
Strength, they're
whatever.
like strength clips. Mark Boyd and the team.
Yeah,
over
Mark
there.
Boyd. Yeah, I watched that one this morning. So it was. I enjoyed that. It was interesting to get a read. So I'm assuming it was a similar vibe for the one with Larry. I don't know if you've watched both.
I've watched some of it. It's just, you know what Larry's like, just laid back, stock standard questions. Devon saying he's weighing 290 at the moment. Yep. Something along those lines. 290. It was just your run of the mill. Unfortunately. So Strength Cast. Thank you. That's the name of the channel. Strength Cast.
Yeah. So what I got from it all was look Devon seemed relaxed. He seemed to understand what was in front of him. He was like a middle ground to me. He didn't seem nervous, and yet he didn't seem super sure about what was going to happen either. So I think it's a relatively good place for him to be. If you're trying to assess him on how confident is he going in. But man, it's all so unknown, isn't it? Like, yeah, it is crazy.
That's the beauty of the sport. That is the beauty of the sport. Like both sides of the table. Oh, you guys are absolute dickheads if you think Devon's going to win. Oh, you guys are absolute dickheads if you think Levin's going to win. But we've not only been in arm wrestling for a long time, Ryan, you more so than myself, but we have been in other sports. So we know in tennis at Wimbledon, you could turn up and be the heavy favorite. But if you're just not getting into rhythm, the shoulder's just not rotating the way you want it. You're not lobbing the ball up for a nice cracking serve, just, the height that you want. In sport, things can go wrong. Levin could be planning for this one thing of the grip up, and then Devon moves his hand slightly, and he's like, oh, shit, didn't know we were there. Devon could be feeling, this is exactly how Levin's going to go. And he's like, oh, shit, or he's a lot stronger than what I thought. So it's, it's ridiculous.
Well, that was the thing about why I drew the parallels between the Rumble in the Jungle and this King of the Table. Devon has been a world champion before. He's now on his way back to a second crack at being the world's best. And he's being, even though weirdly Devon is the favorite in the polls, I still think that he's the underdog. Like in the genuine reality of it, I think everyone globally.
Oh yeah, he's the more popular athlete. He's the favorite in the polls, but yeah, he's 11's the heavy favorite in the match.
Yeah, and if I look at the way that Ali defeated George Foreman, it was through this unorthodox method at the time, and George Foreman was just the big, strong monster that was going to be too good, and that is Levan now. But you can't write off those intangibles at the end of the day, and you have to, with your head, say, look, Levan is too strong. Levan is a good arm wrestler. Levan will get the job done. But there are so many random little factors that, as you say, could come into play. Devon is the best at seeking out those little things and finding them and applying them in a way that works. So, yeah, as much as we all like to think we know what's going on in our predictions, and we like to say, yeah, told you so. This is actually a really hard match to pick. I think it is.
Yeah, Devon's made it a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. When it was first announced, I thought, here we go. But now as it's building up, I'm like, yeah, I said early on, if that Devon that turned up against Monster Michael Todd at King of the Table won, I said no one on the planet beats him. So if we get that, then he can take it. Matt Connolly in the chat. Is Matt Connolly coming up to you for King of the Table?
He'll be in this studio hanging out on the weekend. So, yeah, looking forward to hanging out, Matt. Good to see you.
Like the little partnership you two guys are growing. An interesting fact here. Love talking about this. Thank you, Gorilla Arms. Says Jake and Ryan. I always find it weird when people say that because Ryan is also my brother's name. So I've got to get my mind right that it's this Ryan. So only 3 matches, bit of a disappointment, or a Core Sports anticipating a 2-hour match between Levin and Devon.
that is one of the things that I'm not going to be critical of Core Sports because I think they've pulled together an amazing event. But I personally would have loved to have seen more matches on the card. If we think about it, this is that hyper focused attention moment for the sport. There are more eyes on this card than any before. And part of the job of a promotion is to build the story of future matches and future athletes and other characters. So I think they missed an opportunity. They should have stacked this card.
Yeah, get a lot of eyes on it. For me, 5 or 6 for this one. But, you know, a lot of people, I do get a bit criticised a bit. They're like, oh, Aussie arm wrestling, you're trying to turn it too much into WWE and things like that. And I'm like, no, it's not WWE. But there's a reason why we're not talking about the other 2 matches. And we'll break them down a little bit in a moment. But there's a reason, because they came on last minute and they're just pulling. So there's other matches on the card. Like, I want to know, why is Marcio and Irakli pulling? And it's like, well, I don't know, man. They bumped into Adam at East versus West. I don't know. But why are Devin and Levin pulling? Holy shit, it's for the number 1 on the planet and the solar system. They hate each other and the banter and this and that. So, yeah, I wish there was 5 or 6. What's your perfect number, Ryan, for a card?
For this card, I would have gone 8.
8.
I wouldn't go 8 for a standard. Like because of the crazy degree of this match, I would have gone 8. If it was a standard card, I would go probably 5, 6.
Yeah, beautiful. Peter McKenzie says your channel will be less annoying if you stop worrying about prams. Oh yeah, I've made a lot of jokes about that in the thing. Dennis the Plenkops says, hello fellas. Ryan, I lost track. Did you have another opponent in mind after things cooling with RVJ King of the Table? Sorry, off topic.
The King of the Table guys have been good to me. They've asked me for my wish list. I've given them a wish list. I've said, like, there's a whole number of people I'd love to pull. So I don't know. On the extreme marketing end, I've had Khaled talk about matches with me. I think after I beat Larry over the top, he got interested in that. So that's like on down the extreme marketing end. Then there's the extreme arm wrestler end would be someone like Božidar Simonov, someone like Raymond Zantanovich is someone I've said I would love to have another go at. Amongst Americans, I've said I would love to pull Justin Bishop. I've said I would love to pull someone like Storm Chelino. There's a lot of people, but there's no shortage. But yeah, we'll see what comes for King of the Table. Like I said, been working closely with King of the Table in terms of promoting the sport and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know what happens at King of the Table 5, but if there is a chance I get the invite, then yeah, it'll be. I'm not sure which way
there is a chance. It is locked in. You want to bet on a sure thing? Ryan Bowen at King of the Table 5 is a lock. Put your house on it. Put your house on it. Speaking of putting your house on things, Marcus Thompson's just pumping the arm wrestling channel up. Thank you very much, you dead set legend, even though you think all my polls are fixed. He says, good to see you back online, Ryan. Keep the drama coming. We need it, mate. We would have nothing to talk about then. Laugh out loud. Yes, seeing the Larry interview, watching paint dry. Has more personality. Had enough of their rubbish promotion, not sitting on the fence. Well, thank you very much, Marcus. With Larry and getting to spend some time with him when he was here in Australia, it's just not really his thing. You know, he's just like, I want to lift weights. I'm happy to meet all these people and hang out. But that stick the camera on me, hard-hitting, fun, engaging interviews, it's just not his thing. He's a very placid guy. He's a laid-back guy. That's what I got. Let's say you, Ryan.
Yeah. He's definitely he's not a host of a show. He's just in his lane. He does what he does. He lifts heavy things, and but he's I guess doing his service by adding some interviews and whatnot to the sport. But Core Sports definitely, I think, if anything, they could have done more on the promotion side for sure.
Absolutely.
I guess it's a reflection of where we're at. Again, I don't want to be critical of them because they've still brought this moment together, and we're all still growing. So obviously they would have done more if they could have. But they obviously don't have the social media, the editing team behind them that's capable of pumping out this volume yet. They don't have it. So I'm sure it'll come. I'm sure it'll come. But yeah,
I'm sure it'll come. And guys, 257 Dead Set Legends in the chat. Let's get those likes up. We're at 125. Let's see if we can crack the 200. Help me, help you, help me, help you, help Ryan, help me, help you. Speaking of which, I need to see this footage of a secret super match. Retro Rice says Levin and Devon should pull with a limp wrist for Pride Month, just like Bowen did when I smashed him in our secret super match, 788-0. Have you recovered from this secret super match?
Yeah, I Retro Ricer just forced me into learning how to flop press, and I'm still not there. So yeah, 788-0 was that day. But look, there's always a rematch on the cards, Retro.
We'll get there. King of the table 5. We've got it there. Thank you very much, Retro. You dead set legend. Yeah, everyone's just saying that YouTube channels have promoted 100 more times than the event. Yeah, I would have loved if Core Sports did a lot more, but I would have loved if Core Sports said, "Don't worry about Coach Ray, Aussie arm wrestler, go call the action." That's something I probably would have preferred, but it is okay. It is okay. What else? What else have we got? Lifting Bishop said, "Is it a lock like Bowen at 3 and 4?" Ryan was a lock at King of the Table 3 and 4. Ryan was there.
I'd signed. I was there. I was good. My opponent pulled out twice.
Cosmic, yes, Ryan was supposed to face Engen, but Engen doesn't want to run events and pull.
Yeah, I've seen that Engen is he's obviously got the itch again. I've seen him post comments saying that he really wants to be a competitor as well. So I feel like he is considering East vs West 5. So we'll see. I don't know if I stomp Ray and do well. Engen might just well. I mean, I've asked people who should I group up with in the afterpool because you got so many people in the room that I just want to just get experience with in a practice table sense. I'd just love to pull a bunch, but obviously with that many supercharged killers in the room, you're going to get crushed pretty quickly if you start grouping up with people. Wow. So I'm like, who do I group up with first? Who do I spend time with? And Engen's very high on the list because we were supposed to have a match. So I may say, hey, Engen, come on, let's have an afterpool.
You need to do me a huge favor because you're very good. You get along with John Brasing. Very good friends. You talk a bit. Can you just film 10 seconds as if you're warming up, get a pin on him, and then the thumbnail reads, Ryan Bowen crushes the GOAT. And just have that in a short 974 million views. That would be the best. Yeah, we've almost got 300 in the chat. That's because I got my good friend here with me. We're just chatting all things King of the Table. But yes, very excited that 267 Dead Set Legends are in the chat. What else? What else have we got before we start? Wow, geez, some of these comments are hilarious. I love. I love them all. We haven't even spoken about any of the matches. What have we got here? Fart says, Devon already had a chance to Ali moment against Thor. Well, yeah, that's if it's in boxing. Arm wrestling is a bit different. Hey, guys, you think YouTubers, arm wrestlers who make a proper living of YouTube should reinvest back into the sport like Neil and Todd? Well, I know, Ryan, you do that. You have paid a lot of arm wrestlers. You've paid for a few of my trips to travel and commentate and things like that. I think if you're making bulk money, like an Alex Top Roll money and things like that, I think it would be great if we invest back into the sport. I'm trying it in a not so much in a financial sense because I'm not making that kind of money. I've just done well outside of arm wrestling to put myself in this position. But how I reinvest in the sport is I will help as many channels as I can. Everyone knows, I promote a lot of channels on this. So if they can go from 300 subs to 500 subs, beautiful. If they can crack that 1,000, I'm going to have Wild Willie T's arm wrestling rants on the show soon. But in saying that, they don't have to either. They don't have to.
Yeah, and look, yeah, absolutely. Everyone should be reinvesting back in the sport, and I think you'll find that they are. They really are. I don't know of a content creator that isn't. it's inherently linked as well. Like we as content creators, we need the sport to grow, and we need events local to us to grow in order for us to be able to have more interesting things to talk about and more interesting coverage to make. So we will. It's very closely linked. Yeah, I know personally. I don't know how much, but it's a lot. I've supported probably 30 or 40 different channels independently at some time. I've paid for travel internationally for arm wrestlers, interstate regularly. I have a big policy in my own head with my business. I don't like having volunteers. I hate it. I hate having volunteers because having volunteers breeds. Mm, I don't want to ever take anyone's time for granted. So anyone that works in a pound for pound production or comes on and helps me in the commentary or something like that, they will always be paid. I They'll always be paid as a percentage of what the take was, something like that. So yeah, I think that it's important, and I've had that. I know I've had that from the beginning, right when I was doing the smallest of amounts of income. I always shared it as a percentage with whoever was helping.
Well, that's what I mean. Like your so for example, this weekend, there is no reason that a 70,000 subscriber count should get someone with 400 subscribers to be a co-commentator on the biggest match of the year. But you're paying for his flight, you're letting him stay at your house. I'm assuming, because I'm just thinking of the treatment that you have given me, and you'll feed him. You guys will have a lot of fun. And I know you'll pay him, you'll promote his channel, you'll probably give him after super chats before YouTube take all their things. I just know, yeah. So, of course, I hope we all reinvest into the sport because, yeah, if suddenly all channels have 1 million subscribers, then we're rocking and rolling. But yeah, if they do have full time, they don't really have to. But yeah, but very, very good question, Fart. Very good name. Weirdo. Cosmic Code rates your vectors. Goat spinner and the 70-75 mil wrist flexor.
Yeah, I love them. Love that. The goat spinner is my go-to for the moment. Although preparing for Ray is a slightly different flavor in terms of what my favorite is. But I don't want to tell everyone because it's I'm sure Ray it'll get back to him. If I do.
There we go. What else? What else? Yeah, Matt Connolly was just preaching what we were saying. And he just says, hugely appreciate the opportunities Ryan has given me this weekend. Will be huge. Blue, how has your training evolved over the years? What has been the main changes?
Oh, man. It has been an incredibly winding path. If I summarize the broad seasons, I would say when I first began in arm wrestling and I had zero guidance and no one around me that could show me how to move correctly on the table, I was all in on not ultralight, but lightweight ultra reps, and I was all wrist rise back pressure. That was all I had. I was just a posting top roller for the first 2 years. I then started adding in I was just a top roller, but table time became my big emphasis for about 4 years. Jordan Davis and I gripped up exclusively, near 5 days a week for about 2 hours a day, at a moderate pressure. That table time really served me well. Interestingly, as Jordan started to become a proficient arm wrestler, with his shape, he became a better top roller than me. Just by the sheer size of his arm and the length of his hand. And that forced me to say, hang on. And that coincided with the same time that I lost to Justin Bishop. And weirdly, I lost to Justin Bishop, even though I had great hand control. I didn't have the side pressure. That led me to, okay, I need to get side pressure. I started messily doing side pressure. Then I met Todd Hutchins, and Todd Hutchins really got me to condition my elbow. And then I guess I did the Todd Hutchins style thing for about 18 months, really to a T.
Give us a look.
At the elbow.
No, just at it all. Come on now, mate. I said it to you off camera. I've seen better pumps at a petrol station. Come on now. Get back to the gym. Start lifting.
Yeah. And then after the all in on the side pressure thing, like where I'm at, I went to a center table like after my experience at the Zloty tour, I recognized I had good sticking power, I had good long game strength, I had good rotation from my top roll days. I had a good elbow once the match was in, but I was still vulnerable at dead center. So the last 2 years, I don't know, it's been so long since I've been let out of the box to go and play internationally. I would say the predominant has been a center table focus. So that's kind of been the broad chapters for me, man.
There you go. There you go. Legends, 250 people here. Let's see if we can crack 200 likes. I don't know if I've had 200 likes during a live show, but I absolutely love everyone hanging in the chat. Now, king of the table for 4 days away. I don't think I'm ever going to sleep over the next 4 days. I'm going to try and watch anything and everything to rock and roll. So the first match on the card, Marcio Barbosa and Irakli Sarakashvili. It's cool. 2 exciting pullers, which is great. But I just get that feeling with both matches. And I've spoken to Corey about his match, but it was just like, was there a stage where Core Sports just went, hey guys, there's a month to go and we've only got 1 match. Probably should do something. So when these matches were announced, I was excited, but a bit was like, okay, yeah, this has been a bit rushed. What are your thoughts on the match?
Look, like I said, I think it's a reasonable match. Irakli obviously is linked closely to Levan. And I think the guys in Dubai have spent some time with him, so and made sense. It was an easy pick for them because they knew the guy, they got along with the guy, and they know that he is going to be a decent story. Marcio, legend of the sport, true legend of the sport. He's been doing it forever. His achievements are very hard to beat. There's only a few people that can have more. So it's an old guard, new guard sort of matchup. Stylistically, it'll be good. There won't be any flash pins from anyone. It's going to be a battle of hand and wrist, I think, predominantly. Who's going to gain the height? Who's going to keep their pronation? Who's going to control the side pressure? So I think technically it's a good match. It'll be entertaining, but I guess at the end of the day, it's hard to say there's a lot of story in this one. There's no real story between these two men themselves, other than it's an interesting arm wrestling match. So,
yeah. And I think for me, it's who's recovered quicker from East versus West will have the advantage, because even if you lose 3-0 or you win 3-0, it still takes a toll on you. So, yeah, whoever recovers quicker, I think that's the way it's going to go. I think Marcio Barbosa wins 5-1 on that one. I hope it's an exciting match, because this has this whole card, and I scream bloody murder, but this whole card has a potential to be 3 6-0s. I don't want it to be. Everyone knows that follows the show. They know I am sick to death of main events being 6-0, but it could happen. Yeah. And we'll get to that matchup in a little bit at the moment. Let's where was it? Yeah, we spoke about that a bit earlier. Levin will probably be at the press conference. I believe he'll do an interview with Neil Pickup before the show, but that is about it. We got 4 days. Neil will be live every day, and Ryan and I, Uncle John, and everyone will just be crushing content. Eric is getting an arm wrestling chubby about the 25th. Woody has come in there. Everyone's just helping each other out in the chat. Jake just wanted to say thanks to you, my mate, for your balanced views and your quality content. Just started a new, really demanding job, and I've been using your podcast to get through the day. Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate it. I thought you were leading into a question with Ryan. I just popped it up because you're a subscriber. You're a banger. Oh, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Gorilla Arms. I have a bit of fun with it. Some people might find my voice quite annoying, including myself. But, man, I don't take myself too seriously. It is all about fun. What else have we got? So the venue, before we get into Corey West, Alex Cadecha, what do you think of the venue? Looks pretty flash, but according to JP,
Look, I'm going to reserve. I'm going to reserve judgment because all I've seen of it so far was Devon loosely walking around with a phone, and that it looked terrible through his phone. Like I need to see how they're going to present the stage, and I did see a photo somewhere. Was it Encore Sports Instagram or maybe Levan's stories? I think it was on Levan's stories I watched this morning, where the lights were off and the stage lighting was on, and it did look way better. So yeah, I don't know yet. I'll wait and see. But it's cool. It's a private venue and a private collection, and yeah, a lot of it comes down to the producer of this whole thing. How talented is the producer in this respect? And there's been great examples in the past of really talented producers. I think the WAL, in my opinion, has still been the best for production of what it visually appears to be. I love seeing someone walking out from the backstage. I love the camera being on them, to them emerging, to them being immersed in the crowd. There won't be a crowd, unfortunately, for this one, so I don't know how they're getting around that. Or there'll be a small crowd. I don't think it's not going to be a crowd cheering crazily like it could be. So I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that, we've got the biggest arm wrestling match of all time? They've got access, obviously, to great venues and money and things like that. Why haven't they gone, let's find somewhere and get 500 screaming lunatics in the venue instead of your 20, 25 VIP? Oh, I'm guessing the number. I don't know the number. It might be 50. It might be 100. But why do you think?
Well, if they are lucky, and if they are lucky enough to get a rematch, if they are lucky enough that these two gentlemen feel the need for a rematch after this event, they will correct this. I'm certain. Yes, they should have held this match in the USA or somewhere at least where the crowd would flock to it, because they could have sold 10,000 tickets to this. They could have easy. They could have sold 10,000 tickets in the USA to this, and it would have been, there would have been a chant waiting for the men to come out. There would have been an atmosphere that would have given Devon and Levan shivers down their spine as they came out. And I'm sad for them that isn't going to be the case. There's going to be well behaved, quiet crowd watching. There's not going to be any yelling and craziness. I don't think. Or you might hear Coach Ray. Oh no, he's commentating. You might hear the odd guy try to spark up the room, but it's not the same as you're in the Coliseum sort of back rooms and you're hearing the crowd getting the
Mate,
give it that. Like, I'm getting shivers down my spine, imagining what it would have been like if that.
That's what I mean. You imagine 5,000 people paying $50 a pop, sitting there, and all you hear is Devon, Devon, Devon. Yeah. And then when that first ready bang happens and the crowd fucking shift and roar. But
as I saw Matt Connolly there say, the crowd absolutely can affect the outcome. You see it in sport all the time. The person that wins the crowd, or the team that wins the crowd, they lift. They have better stats long term under those circumstances. Why home grounds are so hard to defeat the home ground team at. And if we look at the Ali Foreman match, Foreman was the favorite, but when Ali walked out, it was the crowd was chanting Ali Bournier, which meant kill him. I mean, he'd won the crowd, and that makes a spectacle. That puts that really, like, to be in the position of the man that hasn't won the crowd. Man, that's tough.
Rocky Four. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone ended the Civil War. He had the Soviets cheering for him. But crowd, need crowd. Varley, spot on. NCAA March Madness. The crowd go absolutely ballistic. It is unbelievable in the basketball there. I watch March Madness. I know when I've played, finals in footy, and you're sitting there and you're running, and you either get cleaned up and everyone in the crowd's like, get up, Wardy, get up. It just gives you that next bit where you kick a goal and 1,000 people scream. They're like, yeah, and you run around. Crowds can play a huge part.
I'm convinced they could have sold 5 to 10,000 tickets in the USA.
In the USA, 20K, easy. If this was held in Dubai, I reckon 5,000. And
I don't know.
I think there's four Aussies going to be in that crowd.
I don't know what the culture is like in Dubai. I haven't been. I don't know if there are fans that are obsessed. I think I haven't seen it. I haven't seen chatter on the internet, at least. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a big crowd. I just haven't seen it.
Opening up, a lot of us probably would have gone over there just quietly. I probably would have, but because it's hard to travel these days, it's holding back. It should be an arena with Aussie arm wrestler announcing inner tux, mate.
Oh, could you imagine it? Could you imagine you being the Bruce Buffer out there, just doing your thing in a crowd of 20,000, and you get to call the main event. It's time for the main event of the evening, and call these two gentlemen out. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
the sport. We will get there. We will get there.
Oh, it'll happen. More things like that. Gorilla Arms has been a member for 4 months, and he says, Ryan, what's the most potential out there take on King of the Table 4? What's a fun, weird thing? Like for me, it would probably be Jody coming out with a chair after round 2 and hitting Levin on the back, and it's like, my God, he's broken in half. What'd be a fun, or if we use the word delusional, what'd be a fun take if you want to answer?
Well, yeah, Devin said it in his interview that he goes into his thought process and tries to imagine all the possibilities that are realistic, and then he goes a little bit this side, a little bit that side to imagine how it could go. And you have to say that one of the factors in this match is the emotional state of these men. I think the emotions are going to be very high. I think Levan has been pushed to his limits, and it won't take much to push Levan over the edge of frustration. And what happens next if Levan is pushed enough, and the likelihood of Devin pushing is high. So that to me is where the unknown and the interesting stuff happens. Is if it boils over, and I don't know, I can imagine Levan storming off and saying, fuck this, I'm not pulling whatever. And then Devin trying to bait him at the same time as give him just enough respect to get him back on the table. And people in the corner and Kadecha and Marcio trying to calm Levin down and try to separate Devin and get him back to the table. That's kind of like the extreme end of how it's possible. It doesn't seem impossible for me for that to happen.
Wow. I'm very interested in that. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes. Let's get me to 200 likes. 259 of you in here. Quickly get out of live chat, give it a like, and we'll keep moving. I think what you were saying, two things. One, I think Levan will storm off in the press conference. That would be my out there prediction. I think Levan will just have enough because I've seen some very, very interesting, and I haven't shared them, but some comments from whoever runs the Instagram page, really biting back and attacking people in a very nasty manner. But so I could see the interpretation. I could see the interpreter firing up as well. And then Levin goes, you know what? I'm out of here, which will make for great TV. Now, getting to your point with the push and shove and the pull away, hold me back, I'm going to kill him. That can work. But if it's another shit show of Braun Strowman and Devin Larratt,
there's no acting. There's no acting.
That was the fakest thing of
There's no way. I don't see it even. It's not even remotely close to possible for me that there's acting here. I think Devin wants to win this match. He does. He wants to win it. He wants to be seen as the highest peak ever. As does Levan. Levan says, this is mine. I already am the highest peak. I'm going to prove it to you by crushing you. I think both these men genuinely want to win. And they have genuinely pissed each other off. And that will result in, if any conflict happens, it will be real. There's no way it won't be real. I think both these men are both, deep down, they're very respectful of each other. They actually are. But in this furnace of this moment, emotions are going to be very high, and it wouldn't surprise me if it boiled over. It wouldn't surprise. And when I say boiled over, I'm not saying they're going to get in a physical fist fight. I'm saying that they will break rank from the controlled scenario of elbows down, all this kind of stuff. It'll break rank, and words will be said, and volumes and the tone in voices may go to a level of like, oh, hang on a second, look at these guys now, holy shit. And it's going to take referees and people to sort it down, calm it down. Guys, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. I can see that happening. That doesn't sound far-fetched at all for me, and it will be real if that happens.
Oh, and a part of me thinks it could be a game plan of Devon's, because if he can get a good adrenaline dump from Levin and he's all hyped up, and then spends forever getting in there and then gets to the straps where he wants to. And so, all that, trying to mentally exhaust them. So it'd be interesting to see what way Devon approaches this. But sometimes it's all in fun. If I could ask one thing, I don't ask for much, arm wrestling world, but if I could ask for one thing, clearly Ryan and I are going to make a lot of content after the match. That's what we do. Let's just not kill each other in the comments section. I got, oh, my unfuckables here, 281 studs in the chat. I know you guys will be awesome, but let's spread it. Cheer, rub it in. Told you Levin was going to win. Told you that. But some of the things that are just coming out, we are losing it. It's good though. It's a good kind of crazy, but we're almost there. we're almost over the line where it's just getting a bit too far. Devon's, what is it? Diastema, unable to buy the pay-per-view here in India. Get a VPN. Solved.
Yeah, I will be giving away 20 codes as well.
Yes,
I got 20 up my sleeve. So if you are struggling, and for whatever reason, then in that first 10 minutes of the live that I do will be when I give it away.
There you go. So make sure you go there, and then once you get your free code, then maybe just come back to the other. No. But that's awesome. I'm looking to get more into that. I think things for like East versus West, I think, and moving forward, I really think they should either give us, like affiliate marketing. Hey, sign up to the pay-per-view, write Ready Bang and get 10% off. Sign up and write Blue or P4P and get 10% off, or like you're doing. I've got 20 codes to hand out. Tell me why you can't afford it, or let's run a competition. Funniest.
It's gonna be, I tried to think of how to give them away. It's going to be a mad rush. I'll tell you, it's literally going to be. So I've only got one code with 20 redemptions on it. I'm literally going to write it on a bit of paper and I'm going to hold it up.
Oh, wow.
And go. The first 20, because I don't know how to do it fairly. It'll take too much time. It'll be too hard. So I'm just going to hold the damn code up. And the first 20 that submit it will get it.
Yeah, I've just that would be hilarious. What do you think the tunes they'll come out to in the main match?
I think Devon's coming out to the that remix of Matt Mask.
That would be good.
I think that's what he's coming. I reckon. I don't know. I feel like that's the short odds favorite.
I think that'll be interesting. If you go to my community page, I've asked everyone what songs they think would come out to. A lot of people think Devon will come out to Tom Jones. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa,
Oh, yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
That's been a heavy favorite. Just let's have a look. Jack Daniel says, I can't afford it because I'm married. What else have we got? Before we get into Alex and Corey, Andrew Cotto says, does anyone really think Devon can match the power? Tactics is always be king, but if you just can't be stronger, well. There you go.
No, he can't match the power straight off the center at the go.
No.
If they just ripped and went sideways, no, it's the buns.
Okay, it's all getting in there. Beautiful. So, Devon's coming out to the Titanic song. You are forever. I'm such a good singer, mate. If you're in a chair and a judge on The Voice, you would have flipped over.
Already.
Do you see the photo? Do you see the photo of Alex Kadecha
No.
on
Where do I
Instagram?
look?
I think it was.
Alex Kadecha,
Mate,
let me have a look.
get the cheese on his abs. That Viking is shredded. He's cut his ponytail off and just gone, you know what? I don't have to work on my hair anymore. I've got more time. So he's gone into the gym. I'm pretty sure it's on his story. I'm sure Call Sports and Devon have shared it. He is
All right, check his
massive.
story. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the one.
That's
Yeah.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
muscles are made for the mirror, but it's always certainly he looks
And he's a big
better
dude
than
like
what
that.
I've got underneath my shirt.
Yeah, that's 165 kilos or something, whatever that is. He's a big boy.
165 kilos. I
He's a
saw
big
something
dude.
the other day. Now, does this play any factor into the match as we almost hit 300 live? Corey West posted a photo and he weighs more than Levin.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, will that play?
Corey's a massive dude. Yeah. I don't know how tall is Corey. Is he? I'm guessing he's 6'2" or something like that.
Around there, I think 6'1".
Which is similar height to Levin, I believe. Obviously, the thickness of his shoulders, chest, he's got a massive bench on him. From everyone I've heard that's ever gripped Corey's hand, they all say Corey's thickness of his hand, the width of his thumb is just like horrible. And hence he was able to do things like he did to Krasimir Konstantinov, where he could just win without Krasi getting into the match. I remember when I spoke to Bill Collins, I said, have you got a strap big enough for Corey and Kadecha? Because those two dudes are phenomenally large. Their hands and wrists are not going to fit into a standard strap. So, yeah, he is a big dude. He's one of those guys that demonstrates potential to be one of the pointy end super heavyweights in the world. And I think like this is a big moment for him. If he beats Kadecha, he's smack bang. He's considered top 6 in the world, probably. If that happens,
absolutely, yeah, minimum top 10.
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah, top 10, absolutely, yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes and almost 300 people in the chat. We're going to go for about another 15 minutes because, you know, Beers with Bad Company start. So we've got about 15 minutes hanging and banging. You're here with the man, Ryan Blue Bowen, who's got a couple of awesome matches coming up. And, so it's going to be interesting. Before we go back to King of the Table, now, you have been confirmed as an ArmWars athlete, and you get a hang and bang with Uncle John on the left arm. Has a right arm match been confirmed?
Yeah, Bogdan Stoica.
Okay, so we're still rolling with
Bogdan Stoica and I will face. Well, I don't know who's on. I believe it'll be a battleground. I don't know who is on the other side. I don't. I really don't. But yeah, Bogdan Stoica for the right arm at ArmWars. Really looking forward to that. I mean, I think his shape. I see a lot of myself in him in the sense that he has balance across the full spectrum of styles. I've always been someone who's tried to obtain that. The one key difference between us is he's snappy, where I'm a squeeze puller. He's a snappy sort of style puller. So it's an interesting match. I feel like the shapes of each round could be like it's a very difficult match to predict in terms of how it goes, because he's got a press, he's got a top roller, his hook, and they're all fast. If I stop the matches, I'm going to feel good, but then he's going to have sneaky lanes where he can just bang out something that I didn't see coming, and he's happy to pin himself too. That's one of the things. He's very intelligent. That if he feels that I get the bleed on, he'll pin himself quickly just to say, let me load up another round in the chamber and fire another one. His match with Dallas Langston was interesting. Like Dallas was able to overpower him if it stopped. But then he found a way to just bang through Dallas. So it's interesting. I mean, my match with Dallas, if you try to draw the comparisons, I was able to control Dallas once it stopped, only if it was where I needed it to be. Dallas was too strong in a hook. So it's a great match. I look forward to that one. But of course, I do have Coach Ray beforehand, and I can't take him lightly. I respect Coach Ray a lot as an arm wrestler.
Yes, you can, because it's under 90 kilos. That's what I do. Thank you.
That is the thing that is the key difference with myself and Coach Ray is that I am a bigger human than Coach Ray. Coach Ray is extending his body weight up. I am leaning down. But look, I've got the travel against me. If anyone's going to be jet lagged, it'll be me. So there's always that factor. So I do need to take him seriously. And if I look at matches he's had in the past, he's pulled well. Probably the match that has impressed me most is when he pulled with Froda. And I really respect Froda's power. And Coach Ray looked good there. So I can't take him lightly. But a few people have asked me, do I intend on making him pin himself? And the answer is actually no, I don't. And I'll look to decisively pin him. And I know that he's said the same of me. He said that I saw him say that he's going to try to end the rounds quickly, and that he's confident that he has. Interestingly, I don't know. He's obviously speaking cryptically in a number of ways. I saw him say that he's not going to do what he normally does, but he wants to end the matches quickly. The quickest way for Ray to traditionally end a match is with a press. And he's had success against me on the practice table with a press. So that's still what I'm preparing for most. I'm expecting him to go all in on the press. If he's going to try to flash top roll me, I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible with me having the high ground, the longer arm. I just don't think he can top roll me. Not at all.
There we go. One of our favourite people on the planet, Tom Iglesia, the man who made all the tables for Over the Top. If you've got any left, Tom, I'm tempted to buy one. But thank you for everything he did at Over the Top. And he just reckons that Bogdan doesn't stand a chance. And according to the poll, only 53 people have voted. What's going on? We need more people vote before I start reading out results. But shout out to you, Tommy. Hope you and your family well, you and Jody. Cannot thank you enough for everything that you did at Over the Top. An unsung hero. Josh Barker reckons you'll swamp Coach Ray. Not even a match. And if he could, he'll put $1 million on you.
It's shutout stakes, isn't it? So it's shutout stakes. Look, I've seen Coach Ray's evolution. If you look at him over the last 4 years, he's physically grown. He's visibly more muscular than he was. So when I met Coach Ray, it was 2018. I know his most recent outing. What did he pull? Artem. He beat Artem 3-1. I know I beat Artem 3-0 at the bottom 8, but some years ago again, and I felt good there against Artem. That was after my match with Evan Burgoyne, which was a red line match. And I still had enough to beat Artem 3-0 then. So look, it's a shutout stake. Devon's made it a shutout stake for a reason. I acknowledge I'm the favorite in it, and the pressure is on me in that regard. But I won't be taking it lightly. I'll look to hit really hard. I honestly, my objective, my goal for the match is to make Ray walk away from the match. And when people ask him, what's Ryan's level? I want him to say, I don't know. I couldn't feel it.
Oh, there we go. Marcus Thompson wants to know if you've put in your application for Drunk Wars. You savage vid. Drunk Wars is happening, mate, after Arm Wars. It is all going down.
I'm sure there'll be lots of after action. Although I'll be there with my wife, Marcus, so I will probably not be drunk. I'll be very.
It's going nuts. Marcus knows it because I'm half Irish. I'm winning the whole thing. Don't worry about that. I can handle my own. Should be a bit of fun, and hopefully I'll be there. I think as much as I love the other two competitors, I don't want to jinx you, but Ryan wins both of those matches because I can see a lot of frustration coming into these matches. You have been holding on. You're a kettle that has been boiling for about 3 years to get an international match. You have been waiting. The build up. It's like, you're dating this girl. Oh, she's going to let me feel her boob. Oh, she broke up with me. Oh, there's another one over there. Here we go. And now they're basically confirmed it is happening.
So I get to feel Ray's boob. You
get to feel Coach Ray's left and Bogdan's right boob. And after 81 votes, I've got between you and Stoica, 54% so far. I think you're going to get the chocolates at
I think that is a really good match, man, Stoica. I think that's a great match. Yeah. But
once again,
right,
guys, like the perfect thing of storytelling, this match became even more interesting because of the whole fun F Bowen thing. You know, Jordan was pulling Stoiker, and then your name was brought up. So I think it's going to be amazing because there's a story.
a couple of people asking who was my last. I saw a comment. Who's my last international super match? Yeah, it was Chance Shaw, 2020 in February. Chance Shaw.
Wow, that long ago.
For international, yeah, I had a super match with Ryan Scott after that, which I won, and Lachlan, which I lost.
Yes,
but yeah, international was Chance Shaw.
And that loss to Lachlan always, it always just makes me teeth hurt a little bit because you're wearing an Aussie arm wrestler shirt. And I was just like, fucking hell, mate. I thought we were buds. What's going on? And it crushed my brand. My channel was banned. No, it was amazing. Alex and Corey, two big brutes going at it. Do you like the hunger of Corey West stepping out of his dad, Monster Michael Todd's shadow, and becoming an elite puller? Do you like the fact that Alex Kadech's come off a bit of a whooping from Dave Chafee at King of the Table and wants to re-establish himself as top 5 in the world? What do you like? If you, you haven't done a video about your prediction yet, so if you want to hold off, that is more than fine.
I'll happily share it. I do like this match. It has more story for the reasons that you just described there. Alex is still finding his feet in the top 10. He came charging in, looked amazing. But then the loss to Hermes, he charged in and beat Hermes, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, Alex is going to be the dude that's going to beat Levan, if anyone. But then it all fell apart, and Chafee whacked him, totally whacked him. And so when I say fell apart, it's like it just put questions on us. Like, oh, okay, where is Kadecha? We've got that obviously that 4-way circle of results amongst Gennady and Hermes and Chafee and Kadecha. So it's now unclear. I still have Kadecha very highly, but he is one of the genuine giants of the sport. He's got genuine genetic potential to go all the way to the top, as does Corey. And so this is particularly interesting. Corey, as you said, is coming out from the shadow of Michael Todd. He has always shown big potential, but we haven't seen him yet in this environment. His victory over Crassi really propelled him to this opportunity. It'll be fascinating to see him be ranked above Michael in the world ranks. I think that'll be a fun little side story to see how Michael accepts that. I don't know how he will.
Oh, it'd be a very bitter pill to swallow.
I mean, let's all be honest. If Corey beats Kadecha, Corey's ranked above Michael.
You would think so. I just have that old school feeling when it comes to combat sports. Like if you beat someone, like you propel somewhere above them. So, if he beats Alex, and Alex will drop down a bit, but Corey, I believe, has to go above him because he's beaten him. So now will it be the old
Michael will never back down. He'll always back himself, particularly over Corey. But I know what it's like with the master and the apprentice kind of evolution. And the apprentice is always respectful. The apprentice always actually knows that I've actually got him. I just haven't shown him yet. Because we haven't done a ready go in a comp that really matters. They will avoid each other just through respect and their friendship. But look, there'll probably come a day where Corey will have to say, "Yeah, look, here we go. I can do it."
The torch has been passed. Do you think that massive 430 something pounds will play a huge role, or do you think because Alex is there and thereabout, he's at the 380s, I think. 100 and something.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised when I heard people saying 6-0 to Corey so confidently on the fix. For me, this isn't. It's a hard one to pick because both of their hands and wrists are incredibly thick. Corey, I think both these guys are used to having the edge on the thickness of hand and wrist relative to their opponent. They're going to be very similar. I don't think either are going to have a more dominant hand size. If anything, I expect Alex Kadecha's hand to be slightly larger than Corey's. Maybe Corey's wrist slightly thicker because of the stockier nature of him, and maybe more reach on Kadetcha. I see this match. I don't think anyone can hold on to each other outside the straps. I'd be surprised if Corey was able to. I think Alex's levering top roll with that big thick wrist and hand is going to be enough to get to the straps, and then in the straps, it's more of the same. I think we're going to see somewhat of a balance in the hand, and then what happens from there is the big question, and that's the unknown for me on this match. No idea.
Well, for me, I've got plenty of ideas. It doesn't mean that I'm right, but my ideas, I think a particular person is going to break all Greek god curses. And when that magical ponytail is cut, it won't mean a thing. He'll break that sporting curse. You've seen it all the time, whether it's in rugby league or AFL footy. You see those guys with the long hair, they're busted through packed. And as soon as they get their hair cut, their trajectory drops down and they're not noticed. But I think Alex Kadetcha wins this one.
I have Alex by a nose. And it wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way. But if I had to pick anyone, I've got Alex just.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I wouldn't. It's funny about this whole card because a 5-1, a 6-0, and things like that. I'm not surprised either way. Like if Corey comes out and wins, I'll be like, oh wow, okay, cool. Yeah. It could have happened, and if Alex does it, it does the same thing. Now, before we quickly wrap up, just shortly, Ryan, if you can say it in like 20 seconds or less, where do we go? If Levin wins, where do we go if Devon wins? What do they do next?
If Levin wins, it's the sport will acknowledge Levin as the highest peak. This is just his final step in achieving that. We've already seen it for a long time. We've believed that he almost unanimously worldwide have said that Levin is the top. This will confirm it. This will set him in stone. His legacy will be kind of done. He wouldn't need to do much more for Levin. I think he'll stick around and he will do some more, but it'll be an acknowledgement from fans on all sides of the arm wrestling world that Levin is the true king and the peak of the sport. If Devon wins, man, the world goes crazy. The sport gets flipped upside down. The arguments rage and continue. The fans will not stop talking about the need for a rematch because of whatever that happened in the match. I don't think Devon can win under any circumstances that won't be criticized. And no matter how he wins, it will be picked apart, and there will be a huge demand for a rematch. I think a rematch will almost immediately be scheduled for 6 months away or something like that, 10 months away. But the sport in itself explodes in popularity to a bigger degree if Devon gets the win. And that's why, as a content creator, I'm really keen to see that, because it is the fairy tale story. Realistically, Devon is the underdog. He is. He just is. If he can pull it off, it's a massive moment for the sport.
I tell you what, I will probably go live for 108 hours straight if Devon wins, whilst making videos and releasing them and just doing anything and everything the whole time. What's coming up? What's something? Is there a little tease? We all know you've got the big premiere before, and the codes to give away before your commentary with Hollywood Matt Connolly, which I actually have that screen up while I do mine. 1, so you get the views, and 2, I love watching to see, like, I'm like, shit, he's got 1,000. Shit, it's 2,000. I'm like, fuck yeah, go Ryan. And like 4,000. I'm like, hell yeah, that's kick ass. So, is there any little snippets or tidbits something we could look after? Because you pop up with some different sort of magical videos, because you know I'm the first one to say fucking good on you with your success. But yeah, it's like, oh wow, news. Yep, comparing the match to Ali or something like that. Is there any?
Yeah, look where the creative thoughts flow. Like I between now and the match, it's a special time. I'll probably tell the story again from a few different perspectives, yet to be revealed. But the on the day coverage is going to be a lot of fun. The premiere, I'm really looking forward to releasing. Like I said, my goal was just to make it feel like you're at a barbecue with your mates on grand final day. you're not watching intently, but you've got it on the background, and it's just getting the chills going for everyone. Everyone's like, oh shit, when's ready to go? Are we there yet? That's the vibe. On the live, I'm gonna make an attempt to call a bunch of people during the live. People all around the world. I want to just have a chat and see what's going on. So it's a big moment for the sport. As all of our goals are as in content creators, we just want to give the sport the best representation we possibly can. And so, we'll have a crack at it.
And one of the best blokes to do it is you, Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for your time. I know how bloody busy you've been. You even stopped lifting weights to come and jump on the show and chat everything that's king of the table. I honestly believe that everyone that's subscribed to me is subscribed to Ryan Blue Bowen. He's cracking 100,000 by the end of the year. Whether you like it or not, he's getting that silver plaque. We absolutely love it, and we can't. Gorilla Arms has just quickly popped in. Says a small token of gratitude from the wet streets of Oslo. Keep up the good work, Jake. Thank you very much, Gorilla Arms. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate. I'll leave that up there as we wrap up. Each and every one of you, I super appreciate the support. We almost hit 300 live now. If everyone can head over, I think it's on Evan's channel this week. Beers with Bad Company. Tell them Aussie and Blue sent you. I'll jump over there for 5 minutes and say g'day to everyone in the chat. Check out my channel for more videos. Check out for some fucking fantastic storytelling on Ryan's channel, you dead set legends. And we will see you guys real soon.
Thanks for having us.